Voices Behind the Wall. We're here to interview Dion Hopkins. Welcome, Dion.
Thank you.
Okay, I just have some questions I need to ask you. So tell me about your childhood.
My childhood, I was born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I was basically raised in a single-parent home. My mom, I'm the middle child. I have two older sisters and younger sister.
Okay. Tell me, how did you like that life?
The lifestyle wasn't very pleasant from a young man's point of view because my father, he wasn't in home. They probably separated. I was probably 5 or 6 years old. You know, the days I really don't remember. But I did get a chance to spend, lots of time with my father. He lived out of state, but I was able to go back and forth, summertime and, Christmas breaks.
Okay, so since we're talking about the criminal justice system, do you think him not being in the home affected why you went to why did you go to prison?
Oh yes, a great deal.
Tell me about that.
Well, a young man's first role model should be his father. My father was a good role model. Like I said, I was raised in a single parent home and he lived out of state. So the guys that I had to embrace were uncles, sister boyfriends, great people, don't get me wrong, but I must say there was a lot of negative influences. So the time that I was able to spend with my father on those summer breaks and, it couldn't outweigh the daily life that I was living around, the negative influences back at home with my mom in that environment.
So you had more negative than positive influences?
Yes, sad to say, yes.
Okay. So tell me, how long did you stay in prison?
I had a 15-year sentence. I was 18 years old, and I had to serve 7.5 years of that in state prison in Missouri.
Explain the prison life as you know it.
Prison life for me, it was as far as prison life goes, it was sort of pleasant as far as the living conditions and the way I seen my time going compared to other guys. I did my time in Missouri. I wasn't born and raised there. Never really lived in Missouri for a long time. So being in an environment with other prisoners, as far as your old friends, family members, I didn't have a lot of those negative influences. So that kind of, gave me a chance to, to be alone to an extent, be able to find myself, get along with everyone. And my past wasn't inside the prison walls. As far as guys I would, may have been into it within the streets, rival gangs and, those type of things. So it kind of gave me a chance to, to find myself inside the prison system.
Okay, did you develop any talents or gifts while you were incarcerated?
Oh yes, I took up, I got my GED in prison. So I spent time doing that educational-wise. And I also developed a trade in carpentry. Took up a carpentry trade the time I was there.
Okay. You have your own business too, correct?
Yes, I do.
Tell us about your business.
Dion Hopkins Home Remodeling. I basically take upon small home projects, remodeling, painting, flooring, I got involved with that. It took me a long time. Like I said, I took the trade up in prison. But when I got out, I did not admittedly pursue that. It took me some years to fall back on what I really knew best.
How many years?
Wow, a long time. Probably about 7 or 8 years.
Okay, after you was released.
Right.
Okay. Who was your support team when you were in prison?
My mother, my father, and my sisters. I had friends that would, come and go from time to time. 7.5 years is a long time. I wasn't but 18 when I got incarcerated. So my friends, at that age,
they kind of faded away.
Right, it was coming and going, right. Which is understandable. 18 years old, we were kids, Yeah.
Emotionally, how were they affected?
My family, they were hurt. Of course, my father. He always been in my life, but he noticed at the time I was incarcerated that there was a lot of things that he did not implement in my life when he really had the chance to.
Okay.
So of course, that was hard for him. My mom, she always did the best that she could. Made sure I went to school. Always had, clothes on my back. Always had a place to stay. She kept us involved in church. So of course it's like, to her, where did I go wrong? You know. But yeah, it was. I had a 4-month-old son at the time I got incarcerated. So seeing his mother had to raise him without me, I mean that was pretty hard.
Are you in your son's life now?
Oh yes, without a doubt.
How did you transition when you came from prison to home? What was that like transitioning from prison?
I did my time in Missouri, and I was when I was paroled. I had family in Milwaukee, had family in Oklahoma, had family in West Memphis, Arkansas. But I did not want to go back into my same environment with a lot of negative influences, fresh out of prison. So I decided to live a life in Missouri, not knowing no one, not having no family members. That was the best for me at the time, and just being real with myself instead of going immediately back to the environment. One thing I do hate, the goals and plans that I had when I was incarcerated, I did not get out and pursue those goals immediately.
But you're doing it now, though?
Yes.
Okay, that's still good. Are you currently on parole right now?
No.
When did you get off of parole?
I got off parole 2007. I did 7.5 years incarcerated and had to do another 7.5 years on parole.
Wow.
And I successfully completed those 7.5 years. It was rough.
I was getting ready to ask, how did you feel about that 7.5 after you already completed 7 years in prison? How do you feel about getting out of prison and still being in the criminal justice system for 7.5 more years?
It had a lot of negative effects as far as being able to get jobs, not being able to travel, take advantage of certain opportunities, in times that they did present itself. But I do feel like it had a balance, because if I would have had more freedom to travel at certain times, I mean,
You would have got in trouble?
Yeah, most likely.
Okay.
But then it still kind of, had me in place, knowing that, I got somebody watching over me to if I slip, I'm going back to prison. So it kind of, with the negative effects as far as jobs, being denied jobs. I remember, like I said, it took me a while to pursue my carpentry skills, but I remember going on the interview for some paint contractors. And I really do enjoy painting. I really like to paint. I really can't paint. And I remember in that interview, like I feel like I was nailing it. Like I had it. I knew everything he was asking me. I was really motivated to get out and pursue that field, but I was denied a job because of my background.
How long had you been out of prison when that happened? Like, how long had you been home when you
About 4 months.
Okay.
About 4 months.
Do you think today you're still being affected by the criminal justice system in your past today?
No, I don't. I mean, I used that excuse for years, but I also knew the talents that I had as an entrepreneur. So I felt like, nobody else hired me, but why am I not hiring myself? So I began to understand, that, hey, I'm putting my livelihood in the hands of someone else for a job.
What would you tell people that have been incarcerated that's getting released, just say they're being released today? What advice would you give them?
Most people I know in and out of prisons, they have a liking to whatever it was that led them to prison, some type of illegal activity. And me personally, I had to develop the type of hatred for that type of lifestyle. Like the Bible says, a time to love and a time to hate. I feel like there was a time for me to hate that old lifestyle that I was living. And if you don't have that type of hatred for that type of lifestyle, those type of activities, whatever they may have been, then it's very likely that you're able to get back and repeat those same activities.
I like that.
In the same type of situation.
I actually like that. Hatred for that type of environment, because it's negative and it can lead you back to prison. Okay. Tell me, what would you tell someone that want to start their own business? How would you go about doing that? How would they go about doing that with a criminal background?
With a criminal background, starting your own business. Really, I like to take things, I like to feel like I'm in control of my life. So when it comes to making certain decisions, making certain moves, I don't want to feel like I can be denied because I'm in control. So whatever that business plan may be, of course it need to be something that's, reachable, attainable, within your means. And just take that first small step. If it's raking leaves, you might need to, in your own neighborhood, rake everybody's leaves for free. If it's washing cars, wash everybody's cars for free for a week, 2 weeks, for a whole month straight, and just, take those small steps. And when you put in positive energy, it will come back.
Good. If you have never encountered the criminal justice system, do you think you'll be an entrepreneur right today?
Probably not.
What do you think you'll be doing?
Probably be dead.
Okay, elaborate on that for me.
At the time of my incarceration, the lifestyle that I was living at the time, if I would have kept going at that time, I got incarcerated at the age of 18. And my mindset at that time, if I would have remained in that frame of thinking, I believe that's what my results would have been. So to me, prison, I don't see it as being a bad thing.
The way you know it.
The way I know it. The only thing that hurt me the most was being away from my mom, seeing her going through a divorce and not being there to raise my child.
Because we're interviewing you today, how do you think Shepherd's 5R Foundation can help other people in the world?
First of all, a platform like this, information, from families, from victims as well, from guys, incarcerated. And, being able to reach out, from all point of views, the victim and the accused. Just information.
One of the programs that Shepherd's 5R Foundation have is called the Forgiveness Walk. It is where you take one person, a family or a person, adopt at least one person that has been convicted of a crime. You forgive them and you help them to become productive citizens. How would you help somebody in order to help them become productive citizens by taking them under your wing? How would you help them?
That's a very thin line, because I wasted lots of time, not to count the money, but lots of time on guys that saying this is what they want, but they don't, what I'm saying?
Work.
So you can get weary along the way and kind of back away, because you have so many people saying that they want to do right, but they really don't. And it's like, you got to give someone a chance, but not get weary along the way.
Okay. So you keep pushing forward.
Yeah, but you don't want to leave anyone behind as well.
Okay.
So it's hard, finding, especially a young man that has totally made up his mind that he wants to live a productive life and do the right thing.
What about women? We have women incarcerated as well.
Women as well.
Okay.
Women as well.
Okay, the last question is going to be, how do they get in contact with you with your business? You're your own business owner. How do they get in contact with you if they want to talk to you about your business, or you give them advice about the criminal justice system? How can they get in contact with you?
The easiest way to reach me is 901-233-9608, Dion Hopkins.
All right, thank you so much, Dion, for interviewing with me. Have a good day.